I never expected Christmas to be the season that blew my entire marriage apart. I always thought cheating scandals or money problems were what destroyed couples, not a stupid holiday tradition about secret St. Nicholas. But here we are. It started 2 weeks before Christmas, on a Tuesday morning. I was rushing out the door for work, half awake, when my wife Lauren called out from the kitchen. "Babe, did you order something for me?" I turned around, and she was holding a small white gift box tied with a deep red ribbon. It looked expensive, minimalist, elegant, the kind of packaging I could never justify paying for. "No," I said, "what is it?" She opened the card first. Her eyebrows shot up. "It says, 'A small reminder of how special you are. Your secret St. Nicholas.'" She laughed it off, assuming it was a prank or some workplace thing. But when she lifted the lid of the box, her smile froze. Inside was a Tiffany necklace. Not a charm, not something cheap. A full-on diamond pendant. I remember feeling this weird twist in my gut. Confusion first, then something colder. "Are you sure this isn't from your office?" I asked. She shook her head. "No one at work would ever spend this kind of money on me." She looked uneasy, but also flattered. That bothered me more than I wanted to admit. We brushed it off, but the gift had this weight to it. A tension we both pretended wasn't there. If I had known then that this was only the first gift, I would have torn that necklace apart looking for clues right on the spot. Because the second gift? That's when I realized something was very, very wrong. The next morning, Lauren woke up excited, practically bouncing around the kitchen. "I got another note," she said, holding a tiny envelope. My heart sank a little. I didn't know why, but the term Secret St. Nicholas had started to feel threatening. Inside the envelope was a small handwritten card. The handwriting was elegant, looping, almost too perfect. It read, "I hope this brightens your day as much as your smile brightens the world. SSN." And taped to the card was a set of diamond earrings. Real ones, not costume jewelry. Lauren gasped. "Oh my God, can you believe this?" I forced a smile, but my mind was racing. Who could possibly know her taste so perfectly? Who was spending thousands of dollars anonymously on her? I asked the questions that no one asks out loud, but that I couldn't suppress. Did anyone from work know your ring size? Or your necklace preference? Are you sure no one at the office could have done this? Lauren shook her head, looking confused and a little concerned. "I don't know. It has to be someone who really knows me, right?" That's when I noticed the first weird detail. The card wasn't signed like anyone we knew. And the penmanship. I'd seen it somewhere before, but I couldn't place it yet. By that evening, the gifts had multiplied. A bracelet, a designer handbag, each one more lavish than the last. And with each gift, my suspicion grew. Not just that someone was spoiling her, but that someone I knew very well might be behind it. And that's when the first text came. It was a simple text, just one line. "I hope you like the gifts. SSN," from an unknown number. I showed it to Lauren. She laughed nervously. "See, it's just some secret admirer. How romantic is that?" Romantic? My chest tightened. This wasn't romantic. This was intrusive. Someone was crossing boundaries. And I had a horrible feeling I knew who. That night, I stayed up scrolling through every possible clue. SSN, Secret St. Nicholas. It sounded harmless, almost childish. But the level of detail, the way they knew exactly what she liked, how she liked it, it didn't feel harmless. Lauren tried to go to sleep. I pretended to, but my mind wouldn't stop. I replayed every interaction, every friendly coworker, every person who'd ever shown unusual attention to her. And then I remembered. 2 months ago, Lauren's old friend from college, Mark, had reconnected with her on social media. He'd been flirty in a way that I hadn't noticed at first. Subtle comments about her looks, inside jokes. Nothing overt, nothing that would make her uncomfortable. At least, that's what I told myself. But now, that connection didn't feel harmless. By the next morning, I had a plan. I wasn't going to just sit and watch this escalate. I needed to know who SSN was before this went any further. I just didn't realize how explosive the truth would be. I started small. Tracking numbers, online orders, credit card receipts, anything that could give me a hint. But the gifts were purchased anonymously, and every lead hit a dead end. Whoever this SSN was, they were careful. Then came the note that changed everything. It wasn't a gift, just a simple card slipped under our door. The handwriting, the same elegant loops, made my stomach turn. The best surprises are the ones you never see coming. Happy holidays, SSN. Lauren found it first and held it up with a smile. Isn't this exciting? I wanted to scream. Exciting? I felt like our lives were being invaded, but I couldn't show my panic. Not yet. That night, I decided to follow my gut. I logged into social media, scrolling through Lauren's messages, looking for anything I had missed. And then I saw it. A private DM from Mark. It was short, casual, innocent at first glance. Hope you liked the last gift. Can't wait to surprise you again. My hands froze. That handwriting. The tone. Every message lined up with the SSN cards. I confronted Lauren gently the next morning. Lauren, I think Mark is behind these gifts, she laughed, waving me off. Mark, come on, he's just being nice. I barely talk to him anymore. But I could see the doubt flicker in her eyes, the same doubt that had been creeping into mine for weeks. I knew then that the truth wouldn't just be a small argument. It would destroy everything. Because when I called Mark, the story exploded. I called Mark, trying to keep my voice steady. Hey, Mark, we need to talk about the gifts, the Tiffany, the earrings, the cards. Were you sending these? There was a pause on the other end, a long, heavy pause. Finally, he spoke, calm, almost too calm. Yeah, I did. I just wanted to do something nice for her. She deserved it. Deserved it? Mark, she's my wife. I couldn't keep the anger out of my voice. Do you have any idea what you're doing? I just wanted her to feel special. You never meant to what? Ruin our marriage? I yelled. Lauren had no idea. She thought it was some harmless tradition. I hung up before he could answer. My hands were shaking. My mind was racing. I looked at Lauren, who had been watching me nervously. Mark did this? She asked softly, almost whispering. Yes, I said. All of it. Every single gift. Every note. He's been manipulating this entire thing. Lauren's face paled. I didn't know. I thought it was just a secret admirer, like a fun joke. Mark wasn't joking. He crossed every line there is, I said. My voice cracked. And now, I don't know how we go back from this. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. But it wasn't fear of me. It was fear of what had been happening behind her back, how blind she'd been to the truth. By the time I realized it, the damage was done. The confrontation didn't end with words. It exploded into a storm of accusations, tears, and confessions. Lauren admitted she had been flattered, even excited by the gifts. Not in a romantic way. At least she swore it. But she had never told me she suspected anything. And she hadn't considered how this might look from the outside. I felt my world crumble. The thought that someone else had purchased hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars of gifts for her, gifts that I couldn't give, gifts I would never have known about, filled me with a mix of anger, betrayal, and helplessness. I can't believe this, I said. All these weeks, you've been enjoying someone else's attention, and I'm supposed to just ignore it? I didn't want it to go this far, Lauren shouted. I never asked for it. I never encouraged it. But the trust was gone. Completely gone. Every secret St. Nicholas card, every text, every gift felt like a knife in my chest. I called Mark again, this time furious. You have no idea what you've done. You've destroyed my marriage. His voice was calm, almost arrogant. I just wanted to make her happy. I didn't think it would end like this. It ended like this because of you, I snapped. Because of you, everything we built exploded. And it had. Our marriage couldn't survive the weight of this betrayal, even if it wasn't exactly the betrayal you'd expect. By Christmas morning, the gifts were still there. Beautiful, expensive, untouchable. Lauren and I didn't speak much over the next few days. We went through the motions, meals, chores, polite conversations, but it felt like we were strangers living under the same roof. The gifts remained untouched. Diamonds, designer handbags, elegant cards, a constant shining reminder of everything that had gone wrong. I realized something painful. It wasn't the gifts themselves that destroyed us. It was the secrets, the lies, and the intrusion. Someone outside our marriage had wormed their way in, and even though Lauren hadn't asked for it, even though she hadn't encouraged it, the fact remained that our trust, our bond, had been irreparably broken. On New Year's Eve, we had one final conversation, calm, almost eerily quiet. "I think we're done," I said. She nodded, tears in her eyes. "I know, I never wanted this, but it's too late." Mark never apologized again. He vanished from our lives, leaving behind the expensive, meaningless reminders of what should have been a happy holiday. Sometimes I still see a sparkling card or a jewelry box, and it takes me back to that season, the season when my marriage was exploded by diamonds and deceit. Christmas isn't magical for me anymore. It's a reminder some surprises are too dangerous to be kind. And that's the story of how one secret Saint Nicholas managed to destroy a marriage, not with lies of love, but with gifts too expensive to ignore and secrets too deep to forgive.